Florida Panthers at the Boston Bruins, maybe the game of the night. I know people in Vegas would say, well, wait a minute, that's not the game of the night. But from a standing standpoint, it certainly is. And the only thing that the Panthers have to play for at this point is to see whether or not they're going to win the President's Trophy. They have a 4-point lead with 3 games to go over Colorado. I don't know how important that is to them, but at least they still have something to play for. Boston, as we know, still trying to track down the Tampa Bay Lightning. They trailed Tampa by 3 points with 3 to play, so it's still very likely that they could catch the Lightning, but they got to get a big win tonight against Florida. Let's take a look at tonight's number. Panthers minus 25, road favorite. That is held steady, and that is because I guarantee the public has no idea what to do with this. $1.25 and a game where Boston needs it, and maybe Florida is not as engaged or resting some bodies. We'll see how that works out. But honestly, as far as the President's Trophy is concerned, you can throw that out. I mean, I don't know how concerned Florida is, and I don't know how concerned they are considering they have a pretty significant, not a significant, but a 4-point lead over Colorado. So I think this game tonight is, guys, don't get hurt. It doesn't mean anything to our standings whatsoever. And I think that's going to be Florida's mindset going into this. Goaltending-wise, Bobrovsky will get the start. Linus Ullmark will get the start for the Boston Bruins. Both meetings this season, guys, have cashed under tickets, but they have not met since October. That is a long time ago. They met 2 times in the last 2 weeks of October to begin the season. These 2 teams are completely different from what they were then. So please don't take what you saw back in early fall or in the fall and say, okay, well, we're going to equate to what we're going to see tonight. Both these teams are completely different. We saw some guys take some breathers for the Bruins the other night. We saw David Pastrnak. He was out against Montreal. Hampus Lindholm was out against Montreal. It's been, by some reports, called breathers, but we all know that those 2 have been hurt. So it's not out of the question that they weren't going to play against Montreal, a team that they can handle without those 2. Now, we'll see what happens tonight, but if they can afford to sit against Montreal, I don't think they're going to afford to sit against Florida. This is a game where they're going to send a message, I think, to the Panthers. And, of course, from a Panthers standpoint, we know that they're one of the top scoring teams. Actually, they're the top offense in the National Hockey League, and that's not just a statistical fact. That's also when you watch them. There's no team that is on the offensive rush that you feel like is going to find a way to have a legitimate offensive threat every time they enter the offensive zone. That's what the Panthers are all about. And that's what they've been about all year. This is a Panthers team, even at the total is 6.5. I think they can get there close to it themselves on most nights. So when you think you have one team that can get there close to it by themselves, especially when the Bruins, even if the Bruins are in the middle of the pack from an offensive standpoint, they're going to give you enough to push this over the total. The pace is going to be frantic. It is going to be up and down the ice. I expect to see 75 to 80 shots in this game. And if both of those goaltenders have a great, Bobrovsky and Ullmark have a great night, then so be it. But the pace of this game will dictate that this is going to go over. And especially now that, Boston's kind of been in a little bit of a funk offensively, but we saw Bergeron break out of that after a 5-game scoreless streak. We saw the Eric Haula line Haula scored, and we saw the Charlie Coyle line score. So that's telling me that you have 3 lines right now that could put the puck in the back of the net for Boston, and I'm expecting to ride that trend into the postseason for the Bruins. So this is to me, it's nothing going to resemble a 2-1 game. And so even the total is 6.5. That's not a problem for me. Let's take a look at the official selection for tonight. We don't have to look too far for trends in this one. The over is 11-2-5 in the Panthers' last 18 games versus the Atlantic Division. 18-6-4 when playing on 1 day's rest. The over is 8-1-2 in the Bruins' last 11 games when playing their 3rd game in 4 days. It's a little bit more juice than we want to lay, but the reason why it's juicy is because that is the side to be on. We're going to go over 6.5 minus $1.30.